Hello and welcome to Martin Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei, and you're here watching the morning forecast show live every single trading morning, 2 hours before the open bell, 1 hour before Martin goes live. Thank you for tuning in. What a day! Bitcoin, XRP crashing. Good thing about it is this is exactly what we expected. We were prepared for this to the exact levels. Our strategy is working great right now. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Let me tell you about my strategy, what I'm doing, and why I'm actually quite happy about this. Of course, I do realize some people are losing money. Most people are losing money. I'm losing money. My investment's gone down. Of course it is. I'm investing in XRP and Bitcoin. I don't like to see money go down. However, it does show opportunity. It does show that our thesis was correct. It does give some light to that. If everyone can bear with me for just 2 seconds, I've just realized something's gone wrong over here. So just a small technical issue. Just stay with me for 2 seconds. There we go. Small issue in the shed, but we're back. So, okay, let's get into it then. Sorry, the shed is having. It's not easy having a studio in the shed, I can tell you that. Okay, let's get into it. So, I'm going to bring the chart up on the screen. I'm going to go straight to the morning forecast newsletter. I'm going to answer all your questions. I know a lot of people are stressed right now. I want to get through all the answers. I want to get through all the questions so I can give you all the answers I have. Remember, I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. My strategy might not be right for you. It probably isn't right for you. I'm a high risk investor. I don't mind being in long-term bear markets. I don't mind losing my money because I look for high risk, high reward. And crypto, XRP, Bitcoin all fall into that category. Am I using leverage right now? No. Do I think we're going to go lower in this cycle? Yes. What is my general thesis for this year? Well, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, I made a video saying we're going into a bear market. The XRP community hated me. The Bitcoin community hated me. Everyone called me an idiot. Just like they called me an idiot when I bought XRP at 30 cents. Just like they called me an idiot for calling a breakout in November of 2024 after we made before we made 1,000% move. Just before I called that, everyone called me an idiot. Everyone called me an idiot when I said it's a bear market. Everyone called me an idiot when I said Bitcoin could be topping out when we covered that one stream where it went to all-time highs and that ended up being the top. I don't care. People can continue to call me an idiot. That's fine, but I'll do what's right for me. I'll do what's right for the audience. And 6 months ago, even though it's unpopular, even though we stopped, I didn't get as many views from that point, I made a video saying we're entering a bear market. I said we're more likely than not. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it's for certain, but I said it's more likely than not we're entering a bear market. And yeah, we are certainly in a bear market. So we were right. We were right last week. We were right yesterday. I said we're going to break out down below a level. I can show you on the chart. This is something I put on the newsletter yesterday. Let me show you here. We're looking at this chart over here. We said we're going to break down. It's not looking bullish at all. 158. What's the next level? Well, the next level is what we've just hit on XRP at $1.38. We are slightly below that, but that's the next level. And the level after this is close to $1.10. So we're going to come on to all of that. We're going to turn this into a video. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Let me answer all your questions, and then we'll make this a video so people that wake up later on in the day or not watching now can also benefit from the content. I'm going to put the newsletter link in the live chat as well. If you want to grab it, you can do it there. Hello, Sensei. I just joined the newsletter yesterday, but I want to follow your trades at a similar scale. Is it me worth buying the number 2 trade? Slim Will UK, I don't give financial advice. The point of the newsletter isn't to tell you to buy my trades. It isn't to tell you I'm an amazing trader and I'm going to make all the money in the world. It's my journal. It's what I'm investing in, my whole research process. So what I would suggest you do, Slim, is I know what you're talking about, the number 2 trade. That's a newsletter. Go read the newsletter. Spend some time. Spend half an hour reading the newsletter. If you have questions, speak to me. Speak to an AI chatbot. All the research is there. I spent about 10 hours researching that. So go see if that research lines up to you. Even within the newsletter, I've discarded certain subsectors of certain stocks because of reasons they're in another PDF. They might appeal to you more. I did give my final take on the final thing I've bought in this portfolio. If I show you here, and I am currently down. There we go. We knew that day would come. So we are down on that. But again, the whole market's down. This isn't a short-term portfolio. I'm not looking to day trade this. This is going to part. This is going to form part of my long-term portfolio. So what I would suggest is go read the newsletter, go read the thesis, go ask yourself some questions, ask me some questions, go and see if the research applies to you. And if it sounds appealing, then of course do what you like with your money. But I wouldn't just say blindly follow me. The most important part is the education part of it. Rather than I don't recommend anyone follows me. Craig Palmer says Bitcoin's going to crash right down to £35,000. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The predictions are coming out now. This is when we know, are we coming to a bottom? People are going to start predicting ridiculous things. I saw today on the news a Bloomberg analyst saying we're going to $10,000. Here we go. Here come the ridiculous price predictions. This is when we know we're coming close to a bottom. Let's hit that like button your way, and says Yolanda. Craig Palmer says, and I'm wondering if XRP will take over Bitcoin in the next couple of years. I don't know, it won't. I can tell you for a fact. Pelandros says, do you wrap your XRP in Flare for yield? No, I don't. I don't mess around with any. What's the point? What's the point of giving my money to a custodian to get 3% on my XRP? What's the point of wrapping my XRP in Flare to get what? 3%, 4%? My goal with XRP is to hit $10, $5, $10, $15. I'm not scratching around for a few percent so I can make a few extra dollars. It's not for me. The risks, the time involved, this, then the other. I'd rather go out, make money, invest in XRP, hold it long term, focus on the charts. Calandra says, I got you. Kraken is giving out 30 to 40% on stake on Flare, but you need Kraken Pro. I link my Kraken. Yeah, it's great. I mean, if you've got Flare, you certainly should be staking it. Human Being Liz says, good day to everyone. Craig Palmer says, Bitcoin could even break and collapse, and we all need to be prepared to buy more XRP to bring your price down. Yeah, look, I'm going to come on to the whole research. Buying every 2% dip, awful, terrible. You're not going to have any money to buy the bigger dips. Have money prepared to buy. Craig Palmer, I just quit my job for a £15,000 pay rise to buy more XRP and Flare. I've just quit my job for a 15k pay rise. I don't know what that means, Craig Palmer. Brian Bynum saying, okay, I'm gonna have to skip through the comments because it's gonna be a busy show. I'm gonna just look at some members' comments. Rhino Skins here, Stevie is here, H Bar's looking good. Hello. What do you but no, I'm not gonna comment on that project. Sir Joey says, good morning. Nothing's a steal at this price. It can go much lower. Don't get deceived. You say this is the best price in the world, guys. We can drop another 50%. This isn't. I mean, people were saying it's the best price for 6 months ago when we were at $2.30 and we crashed from 340 to 280. Everyone said this is a steal, guys. Be careful. Nothing's a steal. These things can drop a lot lower. Martyn said, I've just added another 10,000 of XRP and 40,000 of XRP ETF. Wow. Congratulations to Martyn. Let me link the newsletter to the top. If you do want the newsletter of all my analysis, all my charts, you can grab it as well. I have good news on XRP right after Sensei's show. Brilliant. Where we look forward to Martyn going live 45 minutes. I'm not going to buy anything else just in case Bitcoin dies. I don't think Bitcoin would die. What happened there? Let me just see what that was about. I apologize. Let me just go over here for a second, see what this is. All right. Okay. Thank you, David Hensley. Okay, guys, I can't go through the comments. I'll come back to comments after we do the full analysis, but I think everyone would rather do the full analysis, then come back to the comments. I'm keeping faith. Got a last buy order set at 80, 80 pence in for XRP. Sorry, guys, I've woken up a little bit unwell, so spare with me. I am going to go through the comments. I'm just trying to see if there's any important questions. Then we'll do the analysis, and then we'll come back to comments. I just know I should do the analysis before I go through the comments. I can just never resist trying to answer everyone's questions. Sensei seems XRP is heading straight to 50 cents. It won't go straight to 50 cents. No. Too many people buying from dark pools and selling on open market. Morning Sensei, hello. We need regulations if XRP gives 50 cents backing the truck. Wow, I think I can't handle another day like yesterday. It's not a normal crash. It looks like the world is collapsing. Mr. XB, this is not the world collapsing. This isn't like this is a normal crash. Guys, we're in crypto. This is nothing actually. Remember October the 10th, we dropped 50% in hours. This is nothing compared to it. This just seems worse because we haven't seen these prices in over 1.5 years. This is nothing. I'm waiting for the capitulation. This is normal. Mr. X, this is normal. If you can't handle the crypto market, you shouldn't be in the crypto market. As I've always said, if you're in the crypto market, be prepared for 99% crashes on your altcoins. Be prepared for 90 crashes on the top 100 coins. Be prepared for 80% crashes on the top 70 coins. Be prepared for 70% crashes on the top 10 coins. It is very likely. This is crypto. Welcome to the game. If you're not prepared for it, don't step in. Slim, and I'm not saying that just to be like, wow, we are amazing, we know how to play the crypto game. I'm saying that for your own good. If you can't handle it, you're going to be emotional. And if you're going to be emotional, you're going to lose. Craig Palmer's here. Never going to listen to someone being 99.99% sure. Again, no, don't. I wouldn't say that. I've never been. I'm always 60% chance with a bear market because who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. Peter, we're going 1,000% going to $777. Spend your last Bitcoin to sub to Discord. Crypto various. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Discord is $3. I don't know why you can buy everyone in the world a membership to Discord of a Bitcoin. Get a hobby. Hi Sensei, good morning. Individuals should only invest what they can afford to lose and do your research as Sensei is stating. Thank you, Tim Rogers. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, especially when we're talking about high risk stocks, high risk crypto. You and Martyn are the best. Hi Yestin. Hello Yestin. Discount time. I'm buying XRP 80% crash, more time highs is about 84 cents. How low do you think XRP could drop? Speculative, I know. I'm going to come on to that in a second. Guys, can everyone just take a second? We're live every single day. We're here for you. We answer all your questions. We're a community. We're a family. We don't take corporate sponsors. We're trying to do the best for the family on YouTube. We're trying to go live all the time so we can get through these situations together, and we will. Can you do us a favor? Hit that like button. It takes 1 second. It's free. Please do also subscribe if you're new here. If you do want the newsletter, there is a free trial. There is a free plan. And if you do want to support me and get all the information that I spend hours and hours and hours researching every day with the XRP charts, where I'm buying, my thoughts on the stocks. Oh God, the stock market's crashing now. All of this, my thoughts are in the newsletter. The daily news is in the newsletter. What gets you prepared is the newsletter. Go and check it out. I'm going to give you the link in the live chat as well. We're going to go into the video now, and then I'll come back to your questions in a second. Can you fiddle around with some charts and convince me to full port into XRP? Rob Brennan, I love it. We'll do some analysis now. Do you think we need to take coins off places like Coinbase? Mike Cassie, look, I'm not going to get into that argument right now. There's pros and cons for each. Pros of a private key is, in theory, if you do everything properly, it's the safest place it can be. 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I'd tell everyone private ledger is best. Now we've got ETFs. They're very safe. The XRP Bitcoin ETFs. Now we have Coinbase, which is a company trading on the stock market, very safe. Now we've got Robinhood, safe company. they're not going to go bankrupt. And if they do, they have different policies in place. Of course, if you want to be the safest person in the world, go get a private ledger, do everything the right way. But there's all the risks. People are going to send you coins to your ledger. You're going to think it's you're going to think it's the best thing in the world, and then you're going to fall for a scam, and then you're going to send it to the wrong wallet. There's all the actual problems with Ledger. The technology is great, brilliant, the safest way to do it, but it's all the risks that come alongside it where I go, actually, I can't trade it. You don't have your tax law information. You don't have this, that, and the other. The exchanges these days aren't the same that they were 5 years ago. And ETFs are even safer than exchanges. Do what's right for you. I don't mind using exchanges as long as you've got all the two-factor authentication set up. Be prepared to lose everything, says Craig Palmer. If you go in with that attitude, then you don't put in too much. You don't get emotional. You're probably not going to lose everything, are you? Unless you go to Binky Bonk. Google get really down. All profits taken last night. Okay, I'm going to go through. I'm okay with the price, just not happy with Robinhood is restricting my ability to sell in tax lots. I don't use tax lot strategy. We don't have it here in the UK. It makes absolutely no difference here in the UK. We've got ISAs. I wish we had tax lots on crypto in the sense that our taxes would be easier and we probably wouldn't have to pay as much tax, especially if you're trading. But if we're looking at stocks, if I'm looking at stocks, we've got a £20,000 ISA here in the UK. So there's no need for tax lots. If we're talking about crypto, well, we don't have a tax efficient way of buying crypto. And that's yeah, a whole different story, but we won't get into that right now. A lot of people are choosing closing their Binance account. I don't trust Binance. I've never liked Binance. Binance causes capitulations. Binance causes crashes. Binance BNB token is manipulated. I don't like anything about Binance. When will the bear market end? I think the bear market will end this year, whether that's next week or 8 months from now, somewhere in between, probably maybe actually 8 months from now. If you look at the 4-year cycle, you would expect it towards the end of this year. But we can get low enough that we bounce and then we come back, maybe make a lower low later on this year, and that's the end of it. But we'll see. What's your views on Epstein? Are we the email that Martyn that spoke about? Jeff Stewart, I created that article. It's on the newsletter. I wrote about it. I spent days researching it. And it's awful. The suppression of XRP, the manipulation, the questions that come up. Look, I can't write that article and say this is why the SEC sued XRP and Ripple, but you can think in my head, I'm certainly thinking that, but I can't come out and say that because there's no proof of that. But when you look at the emails, you can start seeing patterns, and those patterns are undeniable. It's scary. Go check out the whole article. Go support the newsletter. The link is in the live chat. I had shivers writing that story. Martyn, how come you're buying now and Sensei says it's going lower? It's a better to wait. MRT, I don't know if it's going to go lower. I think it's going to go lower later on this year, but Martyn's looking for a trade, I think. And in worst case, he's holding it. So it doesn't require much. A 10%, 5% move up for Martyn will be great. And that's very likely to happen. I'm talking about long-term buys, long-term holds. For XRP. I think it's going to go lower long term, but I am saying we are going to bounce. There is going to be a bounce. We don't go down in a straight line, and crypto is very volatile. It punishes the longs, it punishes the shorts. Let's go into the full story now. What is the alternatives to Binance you recommend? I would say Coinbase is probably the most reputable exchange out there. Kraken has been around for a while. KuCoin is great as well, but have the appropriate measures in place. If you have large amounts of crypto, of course, consider ETFs. Pay the little bit of a fee, 0.25% for it to be very safe, and to be in a tax efficient account, or put it into a private ledger if you've got large amounts. But if you want to be trading it and keeping your information, and you don't want to fall for all the other scams that come alongside a ledger, then exchanges these days, again, I'm not going to come out and say every exchange is safe. Blame me if an exchange goes bankrupt. Do what's right for you, but what I think in this day and age is Coinbase is pretty safe, and Robinhood's pretty safe, KuCoin's pretty safe, Kraken's pretty safe, and if I had a large amount of crypto and I wanted to hold it for years and years and years, 5 years, 10 years, then the ledger's a great option, but be careful with ledgers and all the scams around it, where you buy it, what you send to it, the links that you can accidentally accept, the money that people will be sending you to try and scam you, this, that, and the other. eToro, I don't know much about eToro. I tried to use eToro a number of years ago. The user experience seems to be awful for me, but there we go. Is the Robinhood earnings booked yet? No, Delanda, you can book it. I don't think so. You can book it for $10. Okay, let's get into the full video. I'm going to give you my full analysis. I've got good. Let me make sure I've got this open. Let me go here. Breaking news on Martyn Lucas investor. Bitcoin, XRP, it's crashing. It's happening. Our prediction is playing out. How much slack did I take for calling a bear market 8 months ago? I made a specific video. I put it out. I got hate from the XRP community. I got hate from the crypto community. I got people calling me idiots. Just like when I predicted, when I bought XRP at 30 cents, when I kept buying it below 40 cents, everyone called me an idiot. And then it went up to $3.40. I sold a little bit. People called me an idiot. I called a bear market at $2.80. People called me an idiot. I traded it throughout the whole of the bull market, and people said, "Why are you trading it? You should hold this long term." I said, "I'm in the game of making money. I love XRP a long term. I like Bitcoin, maybe not as much as I like XRP, but I do want to make money as well. And I know what the crypto market's like. You've got bull cycles, you've got bear markets. And the bull cycles, you try and make money, whether it's selling a long-term position or some of your long-term position and trying to trade it. You've also got bear markets where you try and make money trading it and also try and find a level to get in. Now, are we at those levels at the bottom of the bear market? Is the bear market over? Am I buying? What's my position? What am I doing? Well, people are probably going to call me an idiot once again, but we'll see where we're at in 8 months' time. Let's go straight into the charts, my analysis, everything when I'm buying XRP, when I'm buying altcoins, what I'm buying, my levels, the full news every day, the XRP weekly, it's all in the newsletter. There is a free plan. There is a free trial as well as a free plan. Choose the free plan, choose the free trial. Become a founding member if you want to support the work. Do whatever you want, but go and check it out. First link in the description. XRP is currently at 136. By the time you're watching this, we're recording this live. Watch our shows every day, 2 hours before the opening bell. Right now, it's at 136. It might have bounced. It might have gone lower. My prediction is we're probably going to get a bounce for now. I don't think we're going to go down in a straight line unless the stock market crashes. Of course, if the stock market crashes and Bitcoin continues its move down, then we're going to continue down. Either way, right now is volatile. It's very hard to say, are we going to bounce? Are we going to crash? The main thing to take away, the market punishes both sides. It punishes the people that are long on leverage. It punishes the people that are short. It punishes the people that try to revenge trade. What does that mean? It means you're long. You lose out, you get liquidated, and you go long again, you lose all your money. Don't do it. Don't get emotional, guys. Please. This is the time in the market where people get emotional and start losing everything. Don't get emotional. If you're getting emotional now, you're not built for the crypto market. This is nothing. We saw a 50% crash in a day just a few months ago. Now it's getting a bit more emotional for people because we haven't seen these prices for 1.5 years. Look, I don't love seeing prices go down. Of course, my portfolio is going down because I'm in crypto, but I see it a different way. I see it as, what can I do now? Is there a trade available? Where am I going to buy? Where's the market going next year? I look into the future rather than being emotional on the day. So please don't be emotional. Please think clearly. Panic selling has never been a great option. FOMOing in has never been a great option. Putting in more than you can afford to lose has never been a good option. Just take a deep breath. Don't revenge trade. Why did you buy the token? Is that investment thesis still there? If so, why are you not buying more? Did you put in too much? Can you not afford your bills? If so, you might need to be out of the crypto market because this place isn't for you. Let's go back to XRP. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. If someone tries to pretend to tell you they know exactly what's going to happen, they're wrong. What you need to do is be prepared for all scenarios. So what does that mean for me? I'm prepared for all scenarios. We're currently hit a specific level, 138. I don't buy every 2% dip. I don't buy blindly. I buy at levels where I expect bounces. Why? Well, because I can take profit. If we get a sudden bounce, for example, if we hit 138 and we do get a bounce back to next resistance, that's 14% up. I can choose to hold long term, or I can choose, actually, I made 14% in a day. Maybe I'll sell some of my XRP. So it gives me both those options. But also it means I don't buy every 2% dip. I buy at specific levels where there could be the bottom. Of course, we'd love to try and find the bottom, but we don't know exactly where the bottom is. So we try and find high value levels to dollar cost average in. And I don't mean dollar cost average in the sense of buying every 2%. I mean dollar cost average in the sense of specific level. Maybe I used the wrong term there. But anyway, how much lower can we go on XRP? Well, the 200-day moving average is a level. How much lower can we go? We can go down another 80%. If we enter the worst bear market in history and Bitcoin crashes and Satoshi is completely revealed, we know exactly who he is. Satoshi comes out and sells it. MicroStrategy goes under and there's a deleveraging effect. Well, Bitcoin can drop all the way down to 30,000 and XRP can drop down all the way to 40 cents. There is worst case scenarios, but let's take away the black swan events because those will pretty much be black swan events in the market. And let's look at what, if we're just in a normal bear market, what can occur? Well, the bottom could be around $1. If we go all the way down to 200-day moving average, that's 18 cents. If we go down to psychological level and the 0.786 fib, the lowest retrace level, that's from the lows of 2023 to the highs of 2025, that will be $1. I am also prepared for lower levels such as 64 cents. But yeah, I am looking at $1, $1.10 next. That's the next level I will be buying. Don't know what's right for you, but the next level I will be buying will be $1.10. Again, I post all my buys on altcoins, different coins. I have been buying other things as well on the newsletter. We post it on the community page. So if you don't have the newsletter, go check it out. Yesterday we said, look, this is it's holding on for dear life, XRP. It's going to break. That was at $1.57 dollars. $1.57, and we did break down exactly as predicted. So we do post charts all the time, and today I did come out and say, if I refresh it, I did come out and say I've bought more XRP. So I tell you all my thoughts as well. We have a conversation in here. I put all the charts in there, plus the daily newsletter, the XRP newsletter, the training course, the portfolio challenge. I'm starting with 5,000, trying to turn it to 100,000, then a million. All of that is part of the newsletter, the net worth tracker, the charts every day, the deep dives, all of that is a part of the newsletter. I'm going to come over to today's newsletter because in the deep dive section today, we talk all about what's going on right now. So let me go down all the way to deep dive section. If you are enjoying the video, can you just take 1 second to hit that like button? Please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. Bitcoin is right at the 200-day moving average. That is not correct. Bitcoin's not at the 200-day moving average. Bitcoin is not at the 200-day moving average. The 200, someone just said it's at the moving average. It's not. The moving average will be a level that will be very interesting for Bitcoin if it holds, which we do expect it to. That's 58,000 right now. Obviously, this goes up eventually, but right now it is at $58,000. That's the 200-day moving average for Bitcoin. And for XRP, that moving average is at $1.12. We might go all the way to there, then get a bounce. Remember, my thesis for this year was bear market. The bear market lows will be this year. Whether that's next week or 8 months from now, I think this year there'll be a bear market low. What do I actually see happening? Well, I think maybe a little bounce to get rid of the shorts. Everyone gets excited. Everyone gets FOMO'd in. Then it crashes again down to 200-day moving average, or it might go straight down to 200-day moving average. Goes to 200-day moving average. Then we get a relief rally for part of the year. And then at some point later in the year, we get the final capitulation move of XRP and crypto, and that will be the final bottom of the crypto market. So I don't mind buying at these levels. I mind buying at $1.10 because maybe we'll bounce back to $1.80 and then have one final push down to 80 cents. And $1.10 versus 80 cents isn't the biggest thing in the world. So I don't mind starting to ladder in at these levels, and that's what I am doing. Let's go into the newsletter and let me tell you everything that I am covering. So today, Bitcoin drops below 70,000, XRP slides to 134. A bit of a bloodbath in the crypto market, but something we've been expecting for a while, ever since I called for a bear market 6 months ago and people called me stupid. It's been a brutal start to February. Bitcoin slid to roughly 70,000 overnight, its lowest price since November of 2024, after failing to hold 75,000 support. That has been in the line in the sand for weeks. XRP has fared even worse in percentage terms, crashing 41% from its early January high of $2.41 down to 134, a level we haven't seen since the Trump rally in late 2024. And guys, Biden was much better for the crypto market than Trump at this point. If we're looking, since Trump has come in, we're actually down. And I'm not saying that because I prefer Biden to Trump. I don't have any opinions on US politics. I'm that person that everyone hates because I just sit in the middle and I go, I don't like this person, I don't like that person. Anyway, so I'm not going to talk about politics, but what I'm saying is we were also excited for Trump and his crypto policies, but we're actually down since Trump came into office. We had a great run under Biden. So bear that in mind. The sell-off didn't come out of nowhere. A confluence of macro factors have been stacking up since late January. Escalating US-Iran tensions after the Abraham Lincoln carrier incident, a surging dollar following Kevin Walsh's nomination as Fed chair, soft tech earnings, and the cracking AI narrative. All things we've been covering on the show. Also, 2.5 billion in forced liquidations that turned a correction into a cascade. Remember that day, October the 10th, where we had that big liquidation crisis, and then we bounced 80%, 70%, 50%. I said we've got rid of all the buy orders. Anyone who had a limit order in place before October the 10th to get cheap Bitcoin, cheap XRP or whatever, those limit orders got filled. Now it's much easier to come to these lower prices, and we're probably going to be magnetized to those lower prices. And here we are, probably hitting those October the 10th lows. Remember that big liquidation, that scandal. So always bear that in mind. If you have a big liquidation, you're probably going to bounce, but you're also probably going to come back and test those liquidation lows. Spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded 272 million in net outflows on February the 3rd alone. The fear and greed index has plunged to 18, deep into extreme fear territory, and Bitcoin is now roughly 44% from its 126,000 all-time high. And if anyone remembers that stream where we covered that 126 all-time high, I think we had the magnet out, and we said this could actually be the top of the whole bull market, and it actually was. So shout out to those people that remember that stream. In short, leverage snapped, liquidity thinned, and buyers simply disappeared. This is exactly the kind of environment where strategy matters more than conviction. So let's get rid of this DCA argument. Every crash brings out the same advice, just DCA. Dollar cost averaging sounds safe, it sounds disciplined, and in traditional markets, it can work pretty well, especially for the people that go out and work and have their 401k or their pension, and every month their money's going in. But in crypto is not a traditional market. Bitcoin has dropped over 40% from its peak. XRP has fallen more than 60% from its July 2025 high of $3.66. If you've been buying every 1 to 2% dips in this correction started, you'll be catching knives the whole way down, and your capital is likely stretched thin or already exhausted. That's the issue of crypto. It's way more volatile, and if you keep buying every 1 or 2% dip, because it drops, we know the trend of crypto. It drops big suddenly. And if you can catch the big suddenly ones rather than 1 to 2% dip, you're going to be way better off. Again, not financial advice, but we're talking facts here. If you've been buying every 1 to 2% dip, you'll be, yeah, it's good. The core problem with blind DCA in a crypto bear phase is that the drawdowns are so deep and so prolonged that you'd run out of ammunition before the market gives you a real bounce. Consider the maths. If you deployed capital 100, 95, 90, 85, 80, 75 on Bitcoin, your average entry is about 87,500. And you're currently sitting on roughly 18% underwater with no dry powder left. The same story plays out of XRP. You bought at 222, 180, whatever. You're deep in red and out of crash. Blind, out of cash, right when the opportunity may be presenting himself. The opportunity is starting to enter. I haven't bought throughout this whole bull market. Now I'm buying because now there's opportunity. I still think we can drop 50%, 60%, but the opportunity is presenting itself. There was no point me DCAing anywhere above $1.80. No point. My average is around 50 cents. Now there is a point because of how far the drawdown has come. So blind DCA treats every price as equally worth buying. Think of that. When you're DCAing, you're saying it's worth as much to buy XRP at $2.80 as it is to buy it at $1.50. Of course, buying at $1.50 is way better than buying at $2.80. But if you do the DCA strategy on crypto, you're saying it's the same. You're treating them equally. which isn't. It doesn't. Not all levels are created equal, and the market proves that over and over, especially when you start putting chart analysis with this. So my approach, what's my approach? Not financial advice. What's my approach? It's all in the newsletter. I share it with you. Go check it out. First link in the description. You get all of these perks and benefits. Remember, it is a 1 week free trial. Go check it out. First link in the description. Daily news. 5 things you need to know. That means I'm not just saying go follow the news because it's fun to read the news. It's because you need to not be emotional. You need to know what's going on in the market. We've been predicting this is happening because what we've seen with AI, what we've seen with liquidity, what we've seen with Walsh and the Fed and the new Fed chairman, because we've been covering the news and reading the news. We make it very easy for you. You get an email every day and you get the 5 top news stories of the day, the deep dive of the chart. You get that as in the free plan. You get that in the premium plan. Go check that out. You get an ad-free experience. You get the stories every day, my thoughts on the stories every day. You get the charts every single day. You get event cheat sheets for FOMCs. Next week we're having an XRP day. You're going to get a full cheat sheet for that. We're going to get Japanese rate hikes. We cover that. Give you the full cheat sheet that gives you all the charts, all the analysis, the timeline, how to look at these events. You get the deep dive research. You get the XRP newsletter every Sunday. You get the XRP newsletter. No one else does that. The first ever XRP newsletter. Go and check that out. And you'll get it as part of your subscription. One-on-one DM access. You can message me anytime. You can ask for my help. You can ask me questions. You can message me on Substack. That's the only place I'll reply to you. You get the community. The community is great. That's where I post all my thoughts, trades, and buys, my answer questions, and all of that sort of stuff. You get the debt planner, budget planner. That's launching hopefully on Sunday. You get the chart analysis course. That's hopefully launching in a couple weeks' time. You get the £5,000 challenge. We're starting with 5,000, trying to turn it to 100,000, then 100,000. It's my journal. It's full research. It's hours and hours of research goes into it. You get all of that as well. So all those perks and benefits, more to come. Go and check it out if you want to support it. Go see. We did a recent story in the newsletter about Epstein and his suppression of XRP. It was a crazy story. You need to go read that. It's also part of the newsletter. Remember, the newsletter, our newsletter isn't just an email. It's an app. It's a web page. You get it all. And the link is in the live chat. It's the first link in the description. And for people watching this as a video, I'll put it up above my head here and also in the description to go check it out. Let's go back to my approach, what I'm doing. I'm doing zone-based buy based off chart analysis. Instead of spreading capital blindly across every dip, I wait for price to reach specific zones. These levels are derived mainly from Fibonacci retracements and key areas of historic support. Places where a number of market participants have previously stepped into buy. They're not random, they're structural, and we proved it time and time again how we win. The logic is straightforward. When price hits one of my predetermined zones, I'm not emotionally buying. I'm not looking at on the day I go, oh my god, I'm down so much, I need to buy more. It's not emotional. It is very much technical. Once price hits one of my predetermined zones, I enter a position. From there, there's 2 options I have. So we hit my zone on the chart. I'll show you those zones. And then I have 2 options. Scenario 1, the bounce holds. We get a strong reaction. Because these levels are probably the levels where we might get the strongest reactions, there's 2 options I have. If we get a very strong reaction off the level, 10, 20, 30% in a day. I mean, we've seen it before with liquidations. We've bought at a specific zone and we've jumped 80% in a day. What I can do is I can make a decision. Do I want to hold long term or do I want to make a profit? Most of the time, if I made 80% of the day, I'll go, actually, that's a great day in the market. I can take short term profit on all or part of that position and move on. And normally, if it's a big bounce suddenly, it means we're going to come back down there in the future anyway. If you want to know more about charts, we join the newsletter. We'll do a full chart analysis course. But essentially, the way I'm playing this, I've got 2 options. When it hits these levels, there is a higher chance we're going to get a sudden amount. If that sudden amount does occur, I can choose to sell that as a profit. But the great part is these assets I'm buying, I want to hold long term anyway. So if the level fails and price continues down towards my next zone, let's say I bought at 180 and now we're at 150 and we didn't stop, we didn't have a big bounce, I'll go, great. I bought at 180, I want to hold long term. I think XRP is going to $10. I didn't start buying XRP until 150, so not the best example. But let's say I bought at 150, now we're at 130. I'll go, brilliant. I bought at 150. I think we can go to $10 in the future. We didn't have a chance to trade out of it, but that doesn't matter. I'm adding to my spot bag. And if we go down to 130, that's the next level I'll buy. Are we going to get a sudden bounce? If not, I'd wait for my next level. So 2 scenarios. Sudden bounce, I can sell. If it breaks lower, the level fails, price continues down towards my next zone. In that case, the position becomes a longer term hold as at a structural level, and I still have capital reserved for my next buy below. This is the critical difference. By being selective, I preserve capital for levels that actually matter. I'm not depleted by the time the best entries arrive. That's the worst thing. Having all your money in the market and not having any money to buy the best points in the market. And that's the strategy means I don't do that. So I'm not depleted by the time the best entries arrive. And because these zones tend to produce meaningful reactions, even my wrong entries, and wrong is the ones that don't suddenly bounce, often give me a chance to manage the trade before it gets away from me. So these are my Bitcoin levels, which I'm doing this. You can see we're at the 0.5% Fibonacci. That's at 69,000. That's my first buy on Bitcoin. Then it'll be the 0.618 Fibonacci, which lines up with the 200-day moving average at 58,000. That's a very important level. That's where we'll probably see a sudden bounce, around 58,000 currently. My XRP levels, XRP has been hit particularly hard this cycle, down to 60%. This and this and this. What are my levels? Well, my levels are 157. You can see we didn't get a substantial bounce. We got about 20% bounce. I didn't want to take profit. I want to start building another XRP position. So that 20% bounce wasn't good enough for me to take short-term profit. And then, in fact, we actually broke down lower. So then we went to 138. So that's my next level I've bought. The level after this, we might get, look, I can't predict the future. Are we going to suddenly get a short squeeze tomorrow? Are we going to suddenly capitulate tomorrow? I have no idea. I'm prepared for both scenarios. If you try and just prepare for one scenario, you're going to get wrecked if you're not prepared for the other scenario. If you're buying today and you're not prepared for a 50% correction, you might get wrecked. So anyway, we're at 138 now, probably a bit lower, 135. The next important level that I will be buying, and I do have money on the side for because I have been predicting a bear market, will be the 200-day moving average alongside the 0.786 Fibonacci level around $1. It's also a psychological level. So between $1 and $1.10 is that final zone, which we can get a really strong bounce at. So be prepared for $1, $1.10, very likely to get down there. We might get a significant bounce before, we might go straight down there. Who knows? So the bottom line is markets like this are where real money is made, but only if you still have capital to deploy when the opportunity arrives. Blind DCA sounds reasonable, and I respect it for most people, but if you guys are covering the market or watching the market every day, trying to become a better investor, then it's too easy of a strategy, and it's not great for crypto. DCA for the average person who goes out, puts his money in his pension, heard about crypto, and just buys every month on his Coinbase. He has no idea what he's buying. Brilliant. He's probably going to do very well. But for me, who's looking at the market every day, I don't blindly DCA because they're all of these levels I'm buying. There are some levels which are much, much more important to me, to the market. So blind DCA sounds reasonable. But in a market when things can drop 40 to 60% in a few months, it's a fast track to being fully invested at mediocre prices with nothing left for the best entries. My approach is simple: predefined zones, patient execution, no emotion, and a built-in exit plan for both outcomes. If the bounce comes, I can take profit. If it doesn't, I'm positioned as a strong structural support for the long run, and I still have dry powder for the next levels. Stay patient, stay disciplined. The zones do the work. Remember, this is my strategy. It's not financial advice. Do what's right for you. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin and XRP right now. We'll go back to chart. I'm going to answer a few questions before we wrap this up as well. We had a story here. Yeah, Bitcoin crashing, MicroStrategy down. AI is having an effect on this. Remember, if I have to give you my thoughts on the markets once again, I think the stock market is now topped out. I think we're going to get a correction, whether that is because of the carry trade, whether it's because of AI, whether it's because of earnings, whether it's because of recession. I think the stock market's going to come down. Bitcoin, normally it plays out like this. MicroStrategy tops out. So if you look at MicroStrategy, it puts in its first peak. This has happened in the previous cycle as well when you study it, MSTR. MicroStrategy peaks. MicroStrategy peaked in November of 2024 before Bitcoin peaked. And in fact, we took an amazing short on MicroStrategy because we identified over here at 430 $53, a lower high, then a breakdown of there, and then a breakdown of that structure. So about an 80% trade on MicroStrategy with no leverage. 10 to 1, which is what trading 212 gives you. It's a 700%. It's a 7x I made on MicroStrategy. I'm out that position now. But anyway, back to what I was saying. MicroStrategy tops out first, then Bitcoin tops out. Crypto altcoins were in a bear market. Then what normally happens is Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's in a bear market, the stock market follows next. And the stock market is starting to break. The S&P 500 now down another 1% today. It looks like the stock market's going to start breaking. Bitcoin and crypto market normally bottoms out before the stock market does and starts to rally faster on the way up. So I think we're in that stage now where Bitcoin is obviously in a bear market. We were right. We can now today successfully say we got it right. Bitcoin was in a bear market. XRP was in a bear market. And sorry to all the trolls that kept saying I was wrong. Again, I never said it's 100% in a bear market. I don't think you can ever be 100% certain, but we said it is very likely or more likely that we are in a bear market now, and we were. So that's confirmed. So now what we're looking for is the stock market to go down, Bitcoin to go lower, probably bounce for some of the year, and then a final capitulation towards the end of the year. And then the stock market, maybe a recession this year, and then a bounce towards the end of the year and 2027. So this looks like a year of accumulation, a year of trying to navigate the emotions, trying to navigate the moves down. We do it all together on this channel. I'll put 2 videos up here, but please go check out that newsletter, because in a year like this, you need to know the news, you need to know what's going on. So I'll put it down here for you. It's in the live chat, it's in the comment section as well. So check out the newsletter, 1 week free trial, and there's also a free plan. But until next time, stay safe, good luck, don't be emotional, don't make the mistakes others have made. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye. Okay, time to look at some of these questions in the chat. If you have any specific questions, if you think it's a stupid question, if you think I'm wrong, whatever, I want to make sure people, if your first crypto cycle, I don't want people losing, I want people to ask the questions. If you have questions, if you're scared, if you're emotional, let me know in the chat. Don't ask questions like, where are we going to go? Are we going to get rich? Shall I buy? Those questions are not good questions. Those questions mean you have no confidence in yourself. You don't know what you're doing. Ask the questions behind those questions. Why are you asking that? Anyway, I'm going to listen to all your questions now. We've got about 8 minutes where I can answer questions. So put your questions in the live chat so I can answer them. Whoops, my bad. Thought I was closer than that. Yeah, not yet, Rob Brennan. I'm down £4,250 at this point. I'm sorry to hear. It's about what you do now. Look it up in AI. Ask Satoshi wallets been moving. Yes, they have. Satoshi era wallet, not Satoshi's wallets, but Satoshi era wallets have been dumping. Yes, they have. That's what I don't like about Bitcoin. Ninja Cowboy Yo-Yo, Human Being Liz. Yes, the rumor was around. I love days like this. Says Thailand Chipper. Brilliant. Ninja Cowboy says, me too. It's time we the people. Fidelity cut off all ETFs on crypto. I have a major account with them. Nick Jones says, been waiting a year for these limit orders to hit. Look, Nick Jones, that's called patience, and I respect it. Everyone a year ago would say, we would never hit these prices. We're going to the moon. But what you did is you put limit orders in place and you had the patience to wait for it. Guys, patience is the best thing in these markets. You always think something can't happen, and it always does. You think it won't go as high as it does, and it goes higher than you might think XRP goes to $10, it'll shoot to $20. You might think XRP won't ever go below $1, but it shoots down to 50 cents. The impossible is possible, and it's always a bit more than you think. So patience is key. Patience is key in this market. Emotions are key. Control those emotions. Charles says, if Trump lost XRP, if Trump lost, XRP is still in a lawsuit and there's no judicial act or potential clarity yet. Charles, I mean, we don't know. Look, I'm not here to defend Trump. I'm not here to defend Biden, but we know that everyone was going. We knew that XRP won the case. There wasn't really 2 ways around it. XRP won the case under XRP was deemed not a security under Biden, so we already had that clarity. That clarity was there. The market was in a much stronger bull market and under Biden. So So would there have been a Genius Act or a Clarity Act? Well, they were going pro crypto. They had to go pro crypto. Why did they have to go pro crypto? Because that's what the citizens of the United States wanted, and we saw them try and pull out the crypto card at the very last second. Um, so they would have known how important it is to their voters. So I think everyone has to go pro crypto now, whether you're Democrat or anything. Anyway, that's not that. The Clarity Act and the Genius Act have come, and the market's lower than it was before. So it doesn't actually matter. It's all about liquidity, how much money there is in the market. I don't like institutions being involved, to be honest. Thailand Chipper says, I've got close to my short at 124 and I'm buying with profit on Bitcoin and some XRP. Asking for a friend, what is sissy? I don't know what that means. Whatever happens, happens as long as the leverage, as long as you haven't leverage, keep cool and collect, you'll be okay. Yeah, leverage, guys. If you're new to crypto, even if you're not new to crypto, even me, who's been in the market 8 years, I don't recommend leverage. Even someone who's leverage is just not brilliant. I mean, especially with crypto, it goes down 80% a day, you get liquidated. Just there's enough gains to be made without leverage. Don't do it. Vocal Foster, Trump is about to deliver a speech. Thank you, Vocal Foster. I think Martyn will be able to cover that. Martyn, if you're yeah, Martyn, if you're watching, someone saying Trump is about to deliver a speech, it might be worth looking into that. Human Being Lear says 1 day. Songs for Space. Oh my god, Google and semiconductor sell-off is bad news. Is Google selling off? I think I've got a short on Google right now. Let me see. Is it paying off or not? Oh yeah, it's paying off. Can I bring it on the screen? Do 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 do. How do I? How do I show my positions on the screen? Nope. Sorry, I'm still not used to showing trading 212 on the screen, so I'm just yeah, here we go. I am in a Google short at the moment. I'll probably be closing that out. Again, I think we'll be closing that out soon anyway. So I just want to show you that we are up on that trade. Nick Jones says it's an AI app. It's designed for creative tasks. Oh, Sissy, I've never heard of it. Nick Jones says, if that's what you're on about, good morning all. Looks like it's shaping up to be another fun day in the markets. Yeah, sorry, Mark, that's been not a good day, is it? Depends how you look at it. Turn a negative into a positive. Let me just answer some of these questions now. I'm going to have a quick fire, go through all these questions. Really bad news. Wall Street is playing games, made another 24 billion shorting software. Yeah, software is going to be the next area I'm looking for in the portfolio challenge. That's the next area I will be doing research, seeing if anything's worth a buy. Nick Jones says, no worries. Sammy says, morning sensei. My buy zone's at 90 cents in euros, 69 1. Daddy Pascal, good luck to you. I think 106 will get hit. This is class. Let's go 30k Bitcoin. Sensei, how do you decide the levels where you buy or sell? Can you explain a bit more about your process? It's Tony. If you're a newsletter subscriber, I'm going to give you my full trading course. It's all about Fibonacci's, levels of resistance, levels of support. That's how I decide, and I put together a strategy. I'd share it as well if you want to ask me questions in the newsletter. I don't know if you are a newsletter subscriber. Go subscribe, and I can tell you more about it. Ganges says, I'm sitting back and eating popcorn. I love it. No emotions there. Ace Venture says, what do you think about HBAR? I like HBAR. I bought some HBAR. Yolanda says, thank you, Sensei, for helping us stay calm and patient during this bear market. Thank you, Yolanda. What's better, DCA or sell all and buy lower in this downtrend? Abokati, the worst thing you can ever do is sell everything and try and buy a better level. Terrible strategy. What if you're going to get emotional? You're going to be out. You're going to say, I really want to be in. And the next 10% pump, you're going to say, oh my God, I missed out. I sold it. That's when emotions heighten. Terrible strategy. If I had to choose between DCA and sell all and then buy back lower, I would DCA. Digital Growth says 65,000 Bitcoin is cooling. Yeah, Gunbroker. It could be a terrible day in the market today. It can really start going down fast. Gunbroker, Carl Moon, all in at this level, is he? Oh God, he's a Bitcoin maxi, isn't it? Oh no, I haven't watched him in about 5 years. I remember in 2021. Roots Family Finance says not buying until spring after Shanto reports from Japan. Yes, this is someone who knows what he's talking about. The Shanto reports are massively important in Japan. Well done, Roots Family Finance. You know what you're talking about. C. Marty says, will metals be a safe haven for the money coming out? No, nothing safe. If the stock market, I think gold, silver, stock market, crypto, everything can crash together. Right now, we've hit our parabolic run for safe. For gold and silver, the risk reward was nowhere, wasn't like what it used to be. We've told you about the top of silver, $120. We told you that months and months ago, and it hit that level. I don't think anything's safe. Bonds and cash is pretty great. Nicholas says, what's your opinion on Bitcoin hyper? Copper's not safe, and I bought copper. Why did I buy copper? Well, because it's a long-term portfolio. I'll buy some more if it goes lower. It's a long-term portfolio. Nothing safe doesn't mean go out and sell your whole portfolio. That's a bad idea. Nicholas says, what's your opinion on Bitcoin hyper? Have no thoughts on it. How long do you think XRP will go? Not sure. Which way are you seeing the crypto market go after stock market opens? Probably down, to be honest. I mean, the trend is pretty down right now. Again, but there's no point answering a question like that because that's not how I trade. But yeah, I would say down if I had to guess. Chris says, what do you think about H bar at this point? Is it worth buying? Wait, look, with my strategy with altcoins, anything that I like altcoin wise, there's probably about 10 altcoins I might enjoy. And what I do with them, I put them in a separate category to Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. Those have specific buy zones. But with the other altcoins, very simple. Every 50% it drops, I might deploy some cash. Every time it drops 50%, I might deploy some cash. Yes, I might look at 2 or 3 important chart levels. But for them, they drop 50% and then they drop another 50%. HBAR, throw that into that category. A few days ago, HBAR dropped 50% since I last bought it, so I bought some more. Very simple. Those altcoins, they can drop 50%, 50%, 50%. Very easy. I buy every time they drop 50%. Sensei, always on with spot on with the analysis. The newsletter is amazing. Thanks, Sensei. Stage your life. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. Christian Mormon says, is Martyn going live today? Yes, Martyn will be live any second now. As in which way are you leaning towards? Down. I'm leaning towards down. You meant after open. Potato family, is Martyn having a show this morning? Yes. Works up, we go to 120. I've shorted it or keep it or lose. Let me check this. For Clarity Act, do we need more Democrat votes to pass? Well, it's past the first section, then it goes off, and then yeah, you need a lot more Democrats to vote in the Senate. I think it is. I don't know the whole U.S. structure, but I think it's gone through. It's passed with no Democrat votes. Now it goes off to the Senate, and then that's when it really matters how many Democrats vote on it. So I think we're a little bit of a while away from the Clarity Act getting passed through. Andy says, hold and be patient. Gavin says, hi, Sensor. What do you think about Canton Coin? I haven't looked at it. I don't like new coins that come out, get really hyped, and then they crash. So there's enough money to be made with the ones that are established. Whisper says, if Ripple sues the SEC and everyone, I mean, I'll look at those coins when we come to a point where I think we're going to get an altcoin season. But for now, I'm not very interested. Whisper says, if Ripple sues the SEC and everyone gets involved in trying to take XRP down, if that money went back to Ripple and boom to the moon. And Whisper, that makes no sense. Sorry. Ripple is not going to sue the SEC. and everyone's not going to get involved in trying to take XRP. I don't know what you're saying. Ripple's not going to sue the SEC. So that shuts down that argument. That's not going to. Stevie Z BCN says turn volume on XRP now is the volume on XRP now is extending. Look at the live chart. Yeah, I think XRP is the biggest affected one today in terms of. We'll have to look at it on an exchange. Let's say Binance. Let's say actually Coinbase. Yeah, volume's big and we're not even through the day. So yeah. Good morning. Do you think Bitcoin will go to zero? Will they delete it? There's no way to delete Bitcoin. I know I don't think it'll go to zero. It's Tony. I'm planning on buying the newsletter soon when I'm a bit more stable on finance due to my new job. It's Tony. No worries at all. If you send me a message, if you've got there's a free newsletter, you can send me a message. Say it's Tony, and I'll see if I can help you out. Vocal Foster says jobless claims just released. 231. Let's have a quick look at the jobless claims. Martyn will be live. I'm gonna have to end the show now. I have to leave now, so I'm gonna end the show in just a second. I think Martyn's show is gonna be up in any second now. What day is it? It's Thursday. That came out. Yeah, it's initial jobless claims slightly higher than imagined. Nothing massive. The UK held interest rates the same. No big data. Since I used the lot strategy, I no longer get nervous when my portfolio turns red. I'm down more than I ever was before, but I'm now to believe it's only temporary. Congratulations to you, DJ. What is a decent bag of H-bar, guys? I don't know. It all depends on yourself, not others. Don't compare yourself to each other. Compare yourself to yourself. Rob Brennan says, "Be careful, short and Google Sensor." I think it's the best. Yeah, I think it's the best Mag 7. Rob Brennan and I agree. I think it's the best Mag 7. It's the best in the AI space. I think so. The reason I short is because we had a massive correction down yesterday on the earnings release. Then we had a big bounce up, and that means all those limit orders between the point of when it crashed to when it pointed, all those limit orders that were set up, they all got filled. So no one else has limit orders to buy Google at that point. So it's a quick, easy trade on the way down, in my opinion. And I've made the money. I'm probably going to get out. I'm not going to have a long. I don't want to be long-term short on Google. That's crazy. Okay, brilliant. We've got Martyn's stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for the great information. Thank you guys. Yeah, we're ending the show. Here is the newsletter link. Go and check it out. There's a free plan. You get all my trades, all my thoughts, the portfolio challenge, the daily newsletter, and all of that great stuff. So go and check it out. It's a link in the description. Martyn has just pinned his next show. If you stay exactly where you are, you'll go direct to Martyn's show. He'll be live. He's just bought tons and tons and tons of XRP. So that'll be a great show. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye. Good luck to everyone.